everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel and to another 5 on Friday video. This is part 2 of my 5 on Fridays featuring John. So last week we did 5 books that John would recommend that I read from his shelves that he thought I would like, that have elements of things that I like in books. This week's video is five
books / series that I have on my shelf that I thoroughly enjoyed that I don't think she would. Ready to dive right in?
Yeah, take it away.
So the first book series that I do not think Tara would like starts with The Warded Man. The series is The Demon Cycle by Peter Brett. V. Brett. Now, I loved this series. I read all 5 books in it and 4 novellas in it over the course of, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 months, something like that. Now, why is this not something that Tara would like? It is definitely on the dark side. Pretty much every main character in this series just gets done so dirty. It's just it's really heart-wrenching. That's part of why I think I liked it, is you feel for these characters, and then they all have such bad things happen to them. And brutally described type bad things. This is definitely, I would imagine, borders on grimdark, which we touched on in the first video. By the end of this series, there's easily 10 perspectives. There's a lot of them. The magic system is pretty complex and gets more and more heavy as the series progresses. Yeah, so those are the big reasons. I really liked it, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who likes grimdark, Joe Abercrombie type stuff.
All right. Oh, very popular here on BookTube.
I love this series. I thought it was great.
My mom also read this series.
Which is very surprising to me for reasons I'll get into. But then again, I can't purport to know your mom as well as you do. But at any rate, Nevernight, The Nevernight Chronicles by Jay Kristoff. There are things about this that I think Tara would like. Especially this first book, there's a huge element of not necessarily magical school, but school environment. These people go to basically a school that trains assassins, and there's a lot of classes and things like that there that happens basically for the vast majority of this first book. Why I don't think she'd like it. It is incredibly detailed in how it describes certain things, namely certain sexual acts that
I don't like.
I know she would not like.
I do not like explicit sex scenes.
And that is exactly what's in here. There's at least 3 of them in here.
And I was telling John, just to touch on that, I was telling John the other day, because I'm currently reading The Gatehouse by Nelson DeMille. And Nelson DeMille will add sex to his books. Yeah. But because all of his main characters are male, it's very and this happened, and it's just done, and but I don't like when it's
it will describe the inciting act, but then leave out leaves your mind to build the fact that they had sex. In this, no, it's inciting act followed by immediately very descriptive and yeah. So knowing that, because I had been interested in reading this, and then John read it and told me that, and I was like, I don't want to read that. If that's something that you enjoy,
don't mind,
you don't mind, or it doesn't bother you, the comedy in this is great. Definitely read the footnotes, because the footnotes are they're meant to be read. They're not added. They're meant to be read, and they are hilarious in most cases. So yeah, that is book number 2. It's kind of a shame, at least for that Tara, I don't think would like this, because it is a really good book, a really good story.
Which really and it's sad to me, because I had been interested in reading that even before John read it. So knowing that it has that is it to the point where I could just skip over those scenes? I don't know, and still.
Yeah, you probably could, but. It's
but then it screws up my page count on Goodreads, and Yeah.
Okay, so we were kind of talking about this
In the
earlier
last video.
in the last video. Yes, same day for us.
Yeah.
A week apart for you, possibly. So this
It'll
is
be a week
this
apart.
is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. It's the first book in the Stormlight Archive. Why do I think Tara would not like it? Well, it starts partially with here. Not that she's against reading long books, just that this is a huge tome of epic world building and high fantasy. Okay, there are so many characters, names, places, and none of it mirrors just about anything in our world. So it's basically putting your mind in an entirely new world, and it's deep. I loved this series.
He read this on our honeymoon.
Yeah, and I actually, Tara has mentioned multiple times that I play in D&D campaigns. The first character that I've ever played in D&D was based on a character out of here, Kaladin. There's a ton of characters, different perspectives, tons of things to learn about the magic and like the special swords and armor they have, and like there's just so much that I think it's if you tried to read it, you'd probably end up confused. Not that you can't comprehend things, just that it's fantasy, so you're not
as familiar.
You're not as familiar, and you're not as interested in putting the effort into figuring it out. That's really what I'm getting at. Not that you're stupid or anything by that. So
right, yeah.
Number 4. This is The Blade itself, the first book in the First Law trilogy, and there are currently 3, 6.
We're
7,
looking at the bookshelf.
Yeah, seven books in this world, with an 8th one due out, I think, in September, and also a collection of short stories. I have read all of them so far, and I personally love it. Why would Tara not like this? Well, Joe Abercrombie, they call him the King of Grimdark, the Master of Grimdark, Mr. Grimdark, one of those. So when you're reading Joe Abercrombie, with the exception slightly of the Shattered Seas trilogy,
that's the series that you.
I did suggest that you might like that.
Yeah, not like it wasn't on last week's video, but
it could theoretically have been. But anyways, Mr. Grimdark. If you're reading Joe Abercrombie, it's because you have to understand that you are going to get very very explicitly described battle scenes, blood and gore, torture, sex, like pretty much everything. It's gritty and it's grim and it's really cool. It's really good for someone like me.
All the things that he just said are things that I'm like, I could take or leave.
Yeah. So, I mean, this series definitely has one of my probably one of my top 5 favorite characters in Inquisitor Glokta. He's hilarious and brutal and just a really great character in my opinion. But I would never recommend that Tara read this personally.
All right.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So the last book that John
series
loved,
that I loved,
that he doesn't think
series,
I would.
specifically series. So this is The Shadow of What Was Lost in the Lycanius trilogy by James Islington. This is his first book, okay? And I don't think Tara would like it. One, because kind of getting into the Way of Kings vein, it is incredibly complex. The magic system specifically, and there's just so many things to keep track of.
Okay.
Because there's things like time travel, which isn't necessarily a spoiler, but I don't know, maybe if someone was planning on reading this and they heard that there's time travel, that could make or break their decision to want to read it, perhaps. But with things like that, and the ability for people to shape shift into, there's just a lot of things to keep track of just on the magic system front.
Okay.
The plot also is devilishly complex. And then, so since this is this author's debut novel, the there was a lot of things I think that he learned from writing this that he applies to the second and third books that make those two books just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Whereas this book, I thought this book was pretty good. And one of the biggest complaints that I hear from some people is that, and what makes this book to them I totally get it, but it's not for me, even though they read the entire book. Like, the writing style is simple enough that even though there's a lot of complex things going on, it's easy to follow. But there's things missing in terms of, like, people complain that the characters don't react to things that they should react to. Moving into the series, if you make it all the way through this book,
continue on.
You should continue on, because the second and third books remedy a lot of those types of things.
So those are 5 books or series that John really liked that he doesn't think I would like. Of those 5, I'd say the one that I would be most inclined to probably pick up would be the Brandon Sanderson, but it's still intimidating as heck. Anyways.
Yeah.
So let us know your thoughts on these series down below.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see whose side you fall on.
Does the book sound
interesting or not like something you want to read?
Like you something? Do you disagree with me here and think that there's one of those series that Tara should just definitely read,
regardless of whatever?
What I said?
Yeah. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.